I'm actually having a major problem. And that problem is the news outlets is telling us that Putin is bombing a nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Now, I hold that to be untrue for this specific reason, or a couple maybe. Russia do not want Ukraine to join NATO. He don't want Ukraine to join the European Union. He don't want NATO to be able to strike at their border and strike Moscow within 10 minutes with missiles. That's a matter of national security. Correct? He wants to keep Ukraine to himself to protect Russia. Ukrainian might not wanna, be part of Russia. That's some old skirmish they probably have, which they do have. But I'm having a huge problem believing the propaganda coming out of the media outlets here in the United States about Russia bombing a nuclear facility. Why would Putin bomb a nuclear facility, causing a nuclear meltdown and make large or vast areas of Ukraine uninhabitable for the next 1,000 years? Why the hell would he want to do that? And also risking polluting his own nation. The particulates, the radioactive dust and smoke drifting over the mainland of Russia. Why the hell would he want to do that? We already know that Putin has located himself, not him personally, but his armed forces has placed themselves at Chernobyl, a place that is a very hot potato still. All it takes is a big bomb and we can send Chernobyl on steroids up into the atmosphere once more. Chernobyl is not finished. It's still in meltdown. Nature has returned on the surface. Wildlife is in there, flowers are blooming. I have seen images from there. It's like life has come back. But down in the ground, they're having a major problem. Something is brewing down there from the old disaster. All it would take is for Putin to place a bomb there at a facility that is already exposed, is no longer hardened, it's easy to get to, and then detonate a large, massive freaking bomb. Right? The father of all bombs, as an example. So that does not make sense to me. Why would he do that? And why is the media telling you that he is doing that? And why is it when we see the news and the images from Ukraine of burned buildings and buildings on fire and fire department is there and so on, why is it that the footage is of such low quality? It's even blurry and pixelated, to say the least. We're living in 2022, correct? Where my iPhone, no, I don't have an iPhone, I have a Samsung, but where my phone takes stupendous good pictures and video quality. A handheld bloody pocket-sized phone, and they have reporters there with $200,000 to $300,000 cameras recording and portraying all the horrors that is going on in Ukraine. when the evidence clearly shows that this footage we are watching on the news here in the US and probably in Europe, don't know, is old footage. And we need to remember another thing is there is 3 regions, provinces in Ukraine who do not want to be part of Ukraine. They want to be part of Russia. In 2014, 2015, they got carpet bombed civilian targets. And what is all the footage we are seeing from the carnage going on in Ukraine? Civilian targets. Why? To make sure that Putin remains the boogeyman. Right? When these bastards you see on the bottom of this picture are the boogeyman. But they only have 3 things in mind. Global reset, New World Order, and the Antichrist on the scene. Now, why would the US media go out and say that Putin is bombing a nuclear facility when he has Chernobyl at his disposal and can do significant damage to the Ukrainian soil and population by blowing that up? He already got it. Why would they do that? Well, the same thing happened in World War II at Pearl Harbor. The American people did not want America to enter into this war. And America and the military-industrial complex and Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, they wanted this badly. There's money to be made, placing their bets on both sides of the fronts. Lots of money. The American people back then did not want America to be participants in World War II. So they had to come up with a plan. The plan was they made mock-up airplanes looking like Japanese airplanes, and then they bombed themselves, just like 9/11. Why? Because when you can tell the public and show with footage so-called Japanese fighter planes torpedoing and bombing and killing 3,000 people in Pearl Harbor, and a lot of civilians too, then you can bet on that you will get the people's backup. Oh, how dare they? Yeah, go ahead, crush them. And America was on the scene and became the world heroes. Correct? This is exactly what they're seeking to do now. They want you, America, to back up an offensive with US troops marching towards Putin's troops, escalating this into World War III. And how are they going to do that? Oh, that's easy. Let's tell the world that Putin is bombing nuclear power plant and seeking to create a nuclear holocaust. We have to stop him. And all the stupid Americans, lots of you out there, unfortunately, most of you are liberals. You don't even know where your freaking ass is. You're probably wiping your mouth instead of your butt when you poop. And that's why you stink all the time. Because you do stink. Your ideology, your philosophy, you are stupid people. I'm sorry, but you are. And it's sad. It is really sad that you think that you are so elevated by being a liberal, not knowing that those people that call themselves liberals in Washington, called Democrats, and also Republicans across the aisle, unfortunately, nothing but communists, in great support of China. And Pelosi saying we must make sure that we don't insult the Chinese people during the Olympics. Fuck you, China. I insulted you, China. Hey, Xi Jinping, I want to spit in your face. You are disgusting. It's just my stance. I don't like tyrants. Not one bit. And we are all God's people, and we are all born free. And we need to fight for our freedom, even if that costs the blood of patriots. It just has to be done. But it's too late. It's been too late for a long, long time. It was definitely too late after 2001. So now we are seeing in Fort Worth, as an example, Texas where I live, people are out on the streets with the Ukrainian flag screaming, stop the war and blah, blah, blah. So it already seeps in people's homes that, oh, it's so bad. It is so bad. Not realizing that all the images you see on TV are old footage. Not realizing how not feasible it would be for Putin, who wants Ukraine to turn it into a nuclear wasteland. Does that make sense to you? But I guess you don't even think to your own nose because you haven't gotten it yet. It's so simple. They want your backup. They want your go ahead. Crush Putin, and World War III is ahead. That's what they want you to do. They have already shown, or they have already demonstrated the power they have over us through the pandemic, what you people out there put up with. And I want you to remember one thing. Everybody who is in Washington work for us. We don't work for them. You've got to get that through your head. They do not run this country. We do. 99% run this country. The 1% sits in the district of criminals in Maryland. Because that's what they all are, including Trump. They're all in on it. They're all in the same club. And you and I are not members of that club. Nor do I want to be members of that club. Good grief. The things that they are doing, if you knew the truth about what they are doing behind the scenes at Bohemian Grove, at Epstein's Island, what they're doing at the border, what they're doing around the world, extracting adrenaline from innocent children for their own amusement, for their drug. That's what they're doing when you're not watching. And they're enjoying themselves. And you and I are paying the price for it. So, you know that the Economic Forum, led by the Nazi Klaus Schwab, is desperate for a global reset. We know that Gates of Hell, meaning Bill, is desperate for a global reset and a vast depopulation of the planet. So is the Rockefellers. Because they want to control you. It's that simple. The less we are, the easier it is to control us. So here at the end, because I need to stop it now, because I need to go to bed too. But one more day of this week to work in. It's been a hard week. But I'm doing my job. And I'm proud of what I'm doing. Their agenda is the global reset, New World Order, which Biden is saying that Putin is disturbing the world order. What world order? Oh, yeah, I know. It's this age-old dream. Remember the letters between Mancini and Albert Pike about the three world wars, and the last one we are facing now. Go find the information about that letter, and you will see that what they are describing in that letter, three different wars, fits perfectly with what happened in Europe at the First World War and the Second World War. But the last World War is going to be, how do I say it, utter devastation of the human race, of God's people, His creation. 1/3 of us is going to die by biological, chemical, nuclear, full metal jacket, arsenal. They want their new world order. They want this Antichrist, this leader. And back in the 60s, a guy called Speck was a UN chairman. He said, what we need is a man of sufficient stature who can lift us out of this economical morass that we find ourselves in. Be he God or the devil, we will receive him. And we know who UN is. The army and the seat, political seat of the Antichrist. War is coming. The propaganda is now at full speed. And they are going to get most of the American people to back up an offensive against Putin. And Russia could be our best friends. They really could. And Putin has many times for the last decade tried diplomatic negotiations with her partners and with the Western world. Diplomatic, non-aggressive, non-offensive. And every single time they have just said, ha! We don't care. We are going for the Antichrist. This is what we want. And you just buckle up, sit tight, and watch the show. We are going to go into Ukraine and assimilate them into becoming NATO and European Parliament members. And ain't shit you can do about it, Russia. And Putin, he's not stupid. He knew what they were up to. He also know what those on the left bottom there, what their business is in Ukraine. Oh yeah, he know. He know every little sleazy detail about that. And this guy here makes millions every year sitting on the board of an energy commission called Burisma. And this guy has absolutely no flipping clue about energy and resources. He's dumb as a post. Yet he is sitting there making millions of dollars, meaning he's laundering money for someone, him in particular. It's just the facts. You can take it or leave it. That's up to you. But they're running the propaganda now. They want your approval for an offensive against Russia. This is what they're aiming for. Nothing else. They don't care who died in that process. Because to them, 95% of the world's populace must die. So there's only 500 million left, so they can control them. Imagine a boot standing on a human face forever. That is what they want. God bless you. Over and out.